Hello everybody, welcome back to my television review series. Today we'll be discussing Mo Season 1. So Mo is a Netflix original. I just looked it up, just finished watching it. It just got one season, it was just released. Today is August 30th. Looking at my IMDb, I think it was originally released on August 24th, 2022. So the show's just getting started. If they do another episode or another season, so you know what I'll do. So I'll give you my breakdown, my overall graded impressions. After that, if you want to watch the television show and you have not, you're going to want to turn off this video because we'll be doing plot synopsis and character development, which will cover most of the development of the plot throughout the season, and we'll be discussing any major themes. So let's see if I can pull up and get an overview. It says Mo Najjar, who straddles the line between two cultures, three languages, and a ton of bullshit. The fictional Mo is a Palestinian refugee living one step away from asylum on the path to U.S. citizenship. Mo Najjar, it's the same, it's a little redundant. His family, including his resilient and spiritual mother, sister, and older brother, flee to Houston, Texas. Laughing the pain away, Mo learns to adapt to his new world through getting ahead in life comes with several setbacks. Kind of a bad written introduction, grammatically. But as it said, again, we have Mohammed. I don't know if it's Mohammed, if that's an A or an Ed pronunciation. Again, my Arabic, again, phonetically I can pronounce any languages, but just again, the way I learn languages, I have to associate the letters to the sounds for me to really get any sort of real fluency. In terms of like translation, as I do with the other languages, I do not have the Arabic alphabet. I do not know the Arabic alphabet. Get obviously good with the Roman alphabet. Probably 90% good with the Cyrillic alphabet. Haven't looked at the Greek alphabet in a while, so I don't know, 30% there. But again, to me, learning grammar is instinctually obvious, so it's not like learning a language is like a thing. But I do like the cultural aspects. I really like, because he speaks Arabic, he speaks Spanish, and he speaks English. So again, it's set in Houston in modern times. So I do like the cultural aspects of it. Again, when I'm watching TV shows, this is typically where I get interested in languages or just cultural events to go look at them as a historian or read more into the culture about it. So I thoroughly like the cultural aspects of the TV show. Overall, though, I couldn't really get the writing development to me was too much between a serious show and a comedy show. Again, like I said, highest rated TV show I've watched recently was the Never Have I Ever. Again, just a high school drama with kids just having fun. So the backdrop is more just a lighthearted thing. You know, immigration, trying to provide for your family. When I was getting into the show, I thought it was going to be a little more serious of the tone. But regardless, if it's serious, I get to be serious. If it's funny, I like it just to be consistently funny, or again, just in the tone of the piece. But when you're flip-flopping between serious and comedy, it just really doesn't click for me. So I like the overall development. I mean, they're in Houston, three languages. Again, he's dating a Mexican lady, Maria. I think she's Mexican, certainly a Spanish-speaking native of some sort, or at least fluently bilingual. But again, like the writing was just a little off to me. The tone, I couldn't really get behind it. And like a lot of times I'm watching the thing, I'm like, am I supposed to be laughing here? Is it supposed to be like serious? Like, what am I supposed to be doing as a viewer? So entertainment-wise, I just couldn't really get behind it. So I'll probably watch season 2, but I'll give it a C+. It really didn't do much for me just because of the mixing of the tone, of the humor, and the seriousness of the show. So again, I did think there was some funny. Again, easily could be bumped up into the B range, a little more consistency on the tonality of the piece. But again, there was some funny jokes, like a couple culturalistic funny jokes, but nothing super developing. It wasn't super entertaining to me. But it could easily get into the B range with just a little more direction on the writing, in my opinion. So again, just kind of nothing. It's kind of blah for me. Certainly not off-putting, certainly not bad, but just, I don't know, C+ is what I thought of the show. So now if you've not want to watch the show and you would like to go watch it, turn off this video now. We'll be discussing the plot synopsis and character development. So you meet Mo. Again, they're refugees from Palestine, and you have some references back historically to the Kuwait War, which I might do a historical thing on. And I do want to do more history lessons, just structured history things. But I don't really know much about the Kuwait War, so you have some flashbacks to like 1991. Mo's father, Mustafa Najjar, he he is killed. You're not really sure, like, it's not like, you just know he's dead. You don't really get much background as into if he was fighting, if he was resistance. Again, I'm not super familiar with the Palestine-Israel conflict or what's all super going on historically in that region. I'd like just to be more educated to comment on stuff like that. But they are now in Houston, Texas. And so he starts off working at a phone repair shop. He has a boss who speaks Arabic as well. He has a coworker that speaks Spanish. And they get raided by ICE. And so Mo does not have asylum papers. He doesn't have a visa. He's not a legal immigrant. So the real plot development of the whole season is just Mo trying to get to an asylum hearing or to get citizenship so he can work and provide for his family. That's really all the overall motif, and then just minor plot developments along the way. So they call him Hamoudi, which I'm assuming is just a nickname. His full name is Mohammed Amer. I think that's the writer and comedian's actual real name, but it's Najjar. Yeah, the last name is, the fictional character is Mo Najjar, and so they call him Hamoudi, and they also call him Habibi, but I think that's just probably boy, Habiti, Habibi, boy, girl, son, daughter, probably. Yusra is the mother. Samir is his older brother, which again, it's not really clear to me if he's just like an odd character, or if he has Down syndrome and Asperger's, so I couldn't even really pick up to me. Samir's character was just kind of like, what's this guy? I'm assuming it's Asperger's or Down syndrome, but it's not really convincing, and they don't explicitly say it, so it's not really, you kind of get like Step Brothers vibes, or like a Will Ferrell type of character from him, in my opinion. He's dating, a Mexican lady or Spanish Latina, Maria, and you have, they date throughout the season, they end up breaking up later on, but that's, again, and these episodes are in quick, 20 to 30 minutes, so 8 episode season, so it's a very quick show. But so he gets fired from the phone repair business, and he starts looking for jobs. While he's looking for jobs, he's selling counterfeit, high quality counterfeits out of the back of his car to try to make some money for his family. And so he's got 2 friends. His friend Nick, who is he's like I think he's Nigerian, so somewhere in Africa. His tattoo artist Shen, who's like looks like probably Chinese or Thailand or Southeast Asia somewhere. But he's looking for new jobs, and he gets a job at Dreams. And so Dreams is a strip club, so he DJs there a little bit. He's now at this point he's getting he gets in the first couple seasons or episodes, he's involved in a mass shooting. His brother Samir wants a certain type of cat food, so he goes to get the cat food, and there's a crazy white person that shoots up the grocery store. So that was a good cultural reference. But he gets grazed in the arm. So he goes to his tattoo artist Shen, who can't go to the hospital because if he goes to the hospital he'll get deported. And so he gets his tattoo artist Shen to stitch him up, who's also looks like a low-key lean dealer. So he's now at this point Mo gets pretty addicted to the lean, drinking that mud. And so he's addicted to lean mostly throughout the season. I think it looks like he tries to kick it at the end, like season 7 or 8, when they're going into the asylum hearing. And so he gets shot, and then he gets a job at the Dreams, the strip club, and he kind of gets into it with a patron about smoking a cigarette, so his boss fires him from the strip club. From there, he goes and works at a olive tree plant, a white farmer in Mexico or in Texas. So some more. The white dude also tells Mo it looks like he's wiring up a bomb. So another good cultural reference there. But again, it's like, to me, overall the theme of the piece seems like serious. So just like these little interjections, humor with seriousness, it just doesn't click for me. Kind of funny jokes culturalistically here and there for all cultures in the show, but just with seriousness and comedy, just really doesn't click for me. But so he starts working at the olive place. There's a lawyer, a Palestinian lawyer that he's working with, Rhonda Modad, and she kind of works out of like this, just like strip mall thing with like a sage person, like a literally person, like an assistant who burns sage. And so Mo fires her, and hires Lizzie Horowitz, who I believe they reference as Polish, but just pale white chick. Her characterization, her acting is not too convincing either. So he's working at the olive farm. He's addicted to lean. They have a run-in. So at the same time he's selling these counterfeit watches and stuff. He goes in and you meet this kind of like thug. His name is Dante, big black dude. He's got diabetes. He shoots up insulin right into his stomach right when you meet him. So he owns like this boxing gym, and Mo goes in to sell him or pitch him some watches one day. He goes in there, and again this gangster has another dude tied up. He brings the gang brings in another dude. Turns out it's Shen, and Dante had his leg amputated because Shen provided him lean, but Dante was diabetic, so it's not clear if the lean caused his leg to get amputated or diabetes to get his leg to get amputated, which are both realistic things, I think. So certainly for diabetes, I don't drink lean, so I don't really know. So Dante's mad that he got his leg amputated. You get another scene where it's like trying to be a gangster, but it's like also interjected with like humor, and it just doesn't work for me. But so basically Mo saves Shen by saying, Shen has this tattoo shop. If you don't cut off his legs or his arm or his head or anything, Shen will give you some of his profits. I think it's 10 or 15%, and Mo will give 10 to 15% of his counterfeit sales profit to Dante for letting Shen go. So after some back and forth, they agreed to that. And so and then the last you really hear from Dante is he's not just super happy with the return he's getting from Mo. But that's really all you see from Dante. And so they go to a wedding. One of the dudes gets wed. They have a couple Palestinian or just Arabic speaking people throughout the show who are just like local friends or community members. One of those dudes gets married to this big white chick, for a green card. And when they're going to the wedding, as kind of like punishment for payback for letting Shen go, Dante has Mo take a bunch of pills, just like a drug deal, a drop for him. And so they go through a random checkpoint. It's Mo in the car. I forget the other not Samir. I forget the other Palestinian dude. Maybe Nazir, maybe. But I'll just say Nazir, Mo, and Nick going through the checkpoint with a bunch of drugs in the car. And Nick and Nazir do not know. And Nazir is the one getting married. And so they go through the checkpoint. They basically, have some banter about Jesus to white Texas law enforcement. They're telling them they're going to church to sing the praises of Jesus and convert Nazir. And so they get through the checkpoint without having to without getting the drugs confiscated or getting caught. And so that happens. They go to the wedding, and then Mo and Maria break up at the wedding. Basically, Maria's not being accepted by Yusra. Yusra is not happy with Amir or Mo getting a tattoo. I guess cultural thing. I guess Palestinians or Arabics certainly like no tattoos and olive oil. I like olive oil, and I'll probably get tattoos as well. So that was some cultural facts I learned. Because I like olive oil. It's my go-to cooking method. Olive oil and coconut oil, depending on the meat, and then butter, depending on the meat as well. But they go to a wedding, they break up. Maria, it's more Mo lying to Maria about the lean and just about the drugs and just about just not being honest in a relationship, more so than Yusra's influence. So they break up a little bit, and they end up, this is towards the end of the show, end of the season, and so Mo goes to try to help supplement the family's income. Yusra starts selling her olive oil that's homemade and that everybody likes. And so Mo, who's working at the olive tree farm, he goes there one day, and the olive trees have been stolen. And so the owner of the farm agrees that if Mo can get the trees back, Yusra can press her oil from the olive trees right on the farm to save time from harvesting to extraction. And so they agree to do that. Mo has, when the scene when the farmer's like, Mo, it looks like you're wiring up a bomb. He's literally putting trackers on the plants. So there's a GPS tracker on the plants. They find the plants, and it's some Mexican's box truck. And so Mo and Nick goes with him, and they're both in the truck ready to try to get the plants when the Mexicans come back out of the gas station or convenience store, wherever they're at, and they just hide in the back of the truck. So the Mexicans start driving the truck, unbeknownst to them. Mo and Nick are in the back, and they drive over into Mexico. Get a Benditos, or Benditos, and it's Benditos, whatever. Welcome in Spanish. But so they get notifications on their phone that they're in Mexico, and now they have a big problem because again, Mo's an illegal immigrant, and he can't get back over the border. Nick has a passport, so once he learns it'll be $20K to go with Mo. At first he wants to stick it out with his friend, learns it's gonna be $10K, he's like, whoa, you're definitely gonna be fine by yourself. So he dips out, goes back through the normal channels, and Mo gets set up with just some coyotes, just human traffickers, smugglers. And so they're going to get into this foxhole, this underground tunnel to go from Mexico to America, and it just collapses and two dudes run out. And so just a couple cartel members, they tussle it out with the dudes escaping. Mo is just frantic, like, what am I doing? And so he just grabs a motorcycle and dips. And so he's just frantic. They kind of think he's involved with whatever's collapsing the tunnel because he runs, but he's just trying to get out of there. And so he calls Maria. He's still on the Mexico side of the border, and the cartel starts picking up right behind him. And so that's the end of the season. Missed one other major plot development, which was they do have the asylum hearing for their citizenship. They go in there. At first, there's a hiccup with what building they're supposed to be in, but they get a hearing done after Lizzie threatens a fake lawsuit against a fake statute, and the judge turns out to be the now judge, former lawyer of Mustafa Najjar. So the judge is very fond of the family, or at least likes Najjar. He thinks they're good people, but he has to recuse himself from the hearing because he knows the family. And so they've been again waiting for immigration hearings, and then once they get it, the judge has to rescind himself or recuse himself, and so now they have to wait again, and you don't get a time frame. So that's really the stimulus for starting the olive oil thing. So that was a quick but major plot development that I missed. So in the last scene is again the cartel people catching back up with Mo on a motorcycle. So again, overall C+. Again, I thought the humor was actually decent, but when it's like the background tonality is seriousness, but the humor really is detracting to me. I did think the jokes were funny, but just combined, just didn't really do much for me. Certainly not off-putting, but I couldn't really get a good consistency on the writing of the piece. So C+. Major themes. Again, I like the linguistics. I like the Arabic. I like the Spanish. I like the cultural aspects. Immigration. I'm sure that's gotta fucking suck. Going into another fucking country because of asylum, wars, this, having to go through a bunch of court process. So definitely feel for immigrants. Again, practically, immigration, again, that would be rather strict on it, but again, practically, what would you do? I mean, you could build a wall, but people are still gonna come over. I mean, it's not, immigration to me is just a practical, what's actually happening, what can we practically do to help people and keep countries safe, or countries, immigration laws. The United States gets a lot of things with the Mexican border, but a lot of countries are extremely strict on who can come into the country based on merit and skills and stuff like that. So we've talked about immigration a decent amount in my language litigation and integration series, and my opinions really haven't changed or developed on that. So certainly feel for any actually hardworking immigrant in any culture at all. Practically, what do you do about it? I'm not really sure. So. Again, change the sentiment of the people one by one. That's definitely what you do. So overall, Mo Season 1, C+. So thank you for watching my television review series, and catch you on the next one. See you then.